this computer. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Cluster API Provider Azure CAPC Office Hours. CAPC is part of Cluster API and as such, part of SIG Cluster Lifecycle. We abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, so thank you in advance for being respectful and kind and raising hands, using the raise hand feature of Zoom before speaking. We want to hear from everyone, so please do that. Okay, I am going to skip the introduce yourself part just because there are the set of people who are here are identifiable as people I already know and who know me and who know each other. Hello, everyone. Let's see, scrolling down to today, June 22nd. We have a light agenda item, or agenda list. So I'll give it over to Matt and Willie for some PSAs, and then maybe we can do some quick milestone scrubbing after that. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, just that the patch releases are out there. Probably the most significant thing is we had a regression with the format of, oh boy, I'm going to space the details. There was a regression Dane pointed out that we fixed for in master and in 1.9, or sorry, in main.
Azure Provider ID prefix?
Right, the Azure Provider ID prefix is fixed. So if you ran into that, that's fixed. And there's a bunch of other bug fixes. That's about what it amounts to. And we also vendored in CAPI 143.
Cool.
I think that's it.
Okay. Willie, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Hey, yeah, just quick PSA on test grid was kind of blown up with failures, but they should be fixed now. The first one was test grid tests were showing up as passed even though it failed, which was kind of a problem, but I think the fix for that has been merged, and so yeah, don't have to click through all your tests to make sure that they're actually passed or not. The second one is the AKS E2E test started flaking like really badly. That was because the like API calls to AKS were taking like longer than the reconcile timeout. And apparently that is not an issue. We contacted AKS folks and they said that it was intended. So we just increased the timeout. And that should cause the tests to not flake nearly as much. So yeah. That's all from me.
Cool. Brilliant. Is there a PR for the AKS?
No, there is. I was just typing this up, so I didn't. Let me go grab the PR.
Yeah, all good. So, here it is. I see it hasn't quite merged. So let's aim to merge that this morning. Have we got a couple of?
There's an LGTM. Just it needs an approval.
Cool. I wonder if we should do another retest just because.
Yeah. Let me.
Paranoia. Or just do a slash test. I'll do it real quick, actually.
Okay, sure.
Just run the AKS test again. So the only thing I'll add on top of that is since we're being recorded, it's not necessarily that the P50 12-second put response is by design. It has to, AKS suggested it has to do with various downstream calls that are sort of in line with those upgrade requests and to various Azure services taking longer than they would like. So I can't promise that there's an active work stream to reduce that, but definitely if you're watching this recording and you're using CAPC and AKS, or if you're building other platforms on top of AKS, at present, the current operational reality is that it may take 12 or more seconds to get your initial put response when you do an upgrade. Okay, cool. Any last minute things on top of folks' minds before we do a little milestone review, scrubbing, hygiene? Okay, this link is as good as any. I'm going to click on this to get to our CAPZ GitHub project. And I think issues and milestones is my easiest way to get into this. Okay, cool. All right. I'm gonna worry about this first of all. So so July 11th. So we've got a holiday coming up. Is it fair to say we're 2 dev weeks away? I'm gonna look at a calendar real quick. Yeah, let's call it 2 dev weeks. We've got 2 more dev weeks left. So really anything here that hasn't been started yet should probably be kicked off. In a sort of best case surprise scenario, it'll be added retroactively by the bot when it merges before 110 is shipped. So let's see, this is too small even for me. Feel free to raise hands if you can identify anything, and I'll just bark out because I've got the floor here if I see anything that should be considered punted. Matt, do you want to comment on these? These look like very specific SDK v2 tasks. That's cool.
I mean, I still intend, they all essentially depend off the very first one in the list, which is me doing a little bit of reworking on how to do auth for SDK v2 so that it works with what Ashutosh is doing for workload identity.
Yep.
So they're like dominoes that will fall pretty quickly once that's done. But at this point, I think it's too optimistic to say they're all going to happen. So maybe let's do takeoff.
I don't see that other one you're sort of referring to.
The
At least I don't
tenant
see.
and client ID are not used from Azure Cluster Identity. There's a bug that's essentially a placeholder for Matt needs to fix the way we're doing auth.
Got it. Cool. And so you're going to focus on this, and then
Yes.
if
And
we'll plan to finish this, but
yeah.
let's say if these follow along quickly, then they'll get retroactively tagged, but otherwise.
It could happen, but it's probably not going to. We know how things go. So yeah, let's just take them off the milestones smarter.
All right, sorry. Hopefully I won't make that UI mistake more than once. Oh, cool.
Last week,
Remembered
I
my
thought that
snake.
could still happen this week. I'm less optimistic.
Okay. I thought I could do bulk milestone.
You can. How do you do that?
Refresh. Maybe I messed up my JavaScript client or something. Let's see here. Milestone? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kicking in next. I think that's what the result of that totally not tedious conversation from last month was. Okay. Go GitHub, go. Right. Okay. Cecile is, so these are issues, so they're not PRs, so I'm not going to necessarily, but if I see an open PR from Cecile, I'll go ahead and kick it just because she's on vacation. Go ahead, Matt.
2722, the one at the very top. At this point, I haven't started, so let's move it off the milestone.
Got it. I don't expect. Well, I'll keep that in for. I've got one more week before I go on leave, so I do have a plan to revisit this. So this one is almost. This is ready to land. John, I saw your review. Thank you so much. And I think most of the work was in that one, just wrangling with the AKS SDK and the APIs. And those learnings should hopefully matriculate into these other sort of related managed identity AKS feature requests. So if there's a decent chance that I could just knock this, and I think there's one more out in one day. So I'll keep those in for now. And we can revisit them next week. Anybody else have any? Just go ahead and interrupt me.
Yeah, I had one. So I have a couple ASO issues in here. For 3521, I do have a PR open that I think is very close. So I think that one is definitely good to review.
Cool.
I don't remember the number offhand, but I can throw a link in the chat once I grab that. But then the tags, well, so for 3521, I have one PR that's just about ready to merge. And then I'll have one other, I think it's a fairly small PR, and then that issue will be closed. And then I have one more PR for the tags issue to manage tags with ASO. So all in all, there's like 3 PRs to merge, but all the work is pretty much done. So I think we're might be good to stay in the milestone, but I'm also out next week. So I'm not
Cool.
sure.
If it's just a matter of reviewing, I think let's be aggressive. I mean, this is important work. So
Okay, sounds good.
okay. I am not aware of any. Oh, Willie, that's your avatar here. Have you looked into this, or are you working on that? Security
Yeah,
rules done.
that is almost done. I'm just trying to fix up an E2E test for that, so that should be kept in.
Cool. It looks like Dane's working on this. I don't see him, so I'm not gonna try to guess his progress. Is this not done, Nawaz?
I split it out into multiple chunks of work, Jack. I think
Cool.
it's not fair to put the whole epic in there. I think the top 3 of the task lists could go into the current epic because I have the PRs for them and they are in review. So
Cool. Looks very epic. Do we want to move this epic to the next milestone? Because we don't expect all of the subtasks to be complete in the next 2 dev weeks.
oh yes, please.
Cool.
Thank you.
Let's call that next for now. Yep. Milestone. Okay, Jonathan isn't here. Jonathan, are you here? Does anyone know the status of this? I've been requested to review from the robot. Willie, looks like you reviewed. Is this in a reviewable, mergeable state pending?
Yeah, I think he was just looking for reviews here, so it's in the review state. And I think
Okay.
this, yeah, should be kept in.
Sounds good to me. I've been seeing movement on this. I don't know the micro detail of the status, but I think let's keep it in. Go ahead, John.
I did just notice that the PR for the skill set async stuff is in the next milestone, but the issue is in the 110 milestone.
I see. Well, I'll put it in 110 just so it gets our attention next week and we can talk about it if it doesn't merge in the. Is this gonna merge? I did see Ashtosh make a comment in chat. I didn't say anything about that. No. Let's just, absent him being here, let's just keep it in. And I think that covers it in a roundabout way. Any final remarks here? Okay, cool. I'm not going to worry about the PRs so much. If there are PRs that are going to land in the next couple weeks that aren't tagged, they'll get tagged by the automation. That seems totally acceptable. Let's give ourselves just a minute to identify any super high priority issue that hasn't been looked at to see if we should reprioritize. Anything seem like it should suddenly go to the top of our list? There's only one bug. Nawaz, you looks like you were the one to submit it. Thanks for that. You want to?
I don't really have a PR for that yet. Still investigating.
Is it fine for this to be in the backlog, or do we want to?
Let's put it in the backlog.
Cool. Yeah, it is in the backlog by default. I just mean like we don't want to put it in the milestone and suddenly drop other things to prioritize this. Cool. Okay. I think that's a week's worth of milestone scrubbing. Is there anything I'm forgetting about? I don't think so. Any final remarks? Or they don't have to be final? We have 40 minutes left. We can take it back or we can. Cool. I think we're taking it back. See everybody online.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, Jack. See ya.
See you soon.
Thank you.